My name is Kwabna Chenchen Hinibwati. Many thanks for joining us here on News Today. To our first story this hour, and the Northern Regional Chairman of the opposition New Patriotic Party, Bugri Nabu, is accusing the Northern Regional Minister and the NDC's candidate for Wale Wale, Abdallah Abubakar, of deploying weapons to NDC supporters in the region to cause mayhem as the general elections draw near. Now, addressing the press conference in Tamale, the regional chairman said if the police sits down on concern for the NDC to brutalize their supporters, they will react with equal force and get their supporters to protect themselves. Let's get more now from Hashmin Mohammed, well, whom I'm told his line has dropped there. We'll try and work the lines and bring him back onto the phone lines, and then we can do some more on that. But away from that now, the Inspector General of Police, John Kudalo, is in the Eastern region to, among others, acquaint himself with the work of the police in the region as the country readies itself for the general elections. The IGP has been reiterating his resolve to place a ban on social media on election day to avoid misrepresentations on the day. Eastern Regional Correspondent Richard Kojunyako joins me on phone now with more on what the Inspector General of Police has been saying on his visit to the Eastern region. Kojo, good afternoon. Thanks for joining us. Can you tell us more about what the IGP has been saying on this visit?
Well, the IGP, as part of his visit to the region, has been saying that, or he says he stands by his earlier comment that if it becomes necessary for the police to place a ban on social media, nothing will stop him. That was a question posed to him by one of the journalists here in the Eastern region. And according to John Kudalo, he is becoming more convinced by the kind of support that he's getting from individuals and organizations. According to him, people who first opposed his earlier stance are now buying into his idea. So he's more convinced that the ban on social media, if it becomes necessary on election day, nothing will stop him from doing so.
So regardless of the uproar and all the many opposition, this very idea of his suffered when he mentioned it some time back, he's still very confident that he's going to see this through. And is that to suggest that all these other comments, all these other concerns that were raised are being shelved aside?
Well, if you listen to him carefully, he said that he's so much convinced that people who earlier on opposed his stance on the ban on social media are now buying into his idea. So he has become so much convinced that if it becomes necessary for him to place the ban on social media, nothing, that is the word he used, will stop him from placing the ban on social media.
What more is he expected to do in the Eastern region today?
Well, he's also been talking about the November elections. According to the IGP, he's warned his officers, those especially who will be going to the voting grounds to, ensure peace in the polling stations. According to him, if any officer misconducts himself or take political stance, the police administration will not hesitate to crack the whip on such an officer. That is what he says. Right. He repeated it 3 times, and he said he meant what he said.
Kofi, many thanks for that update. That was Eastern Regional Correspondent Edwin Kofi Sian with more on the IGP's visit to the Eastern region. Well, he's been telling us that the IGP says he maintains that the police service is still going to consider placing a ban on social media on election day. Away from that now, the National Democratic Congress will reward members of the party who work for the party to retain power. According to Deputy National Organizer of the party, Joshua Hamidu Akamba, the party will not only look at people who are members of the party, but those that have excelled in their work to retain the party in power. He said the days when people are appointed without the knowledge of the party are gone. Joshua Hamidu Akamba made the statement at the campaign launch and outdooring of the NDC parliamentary candidate for Jirapa, Dr. Francis Bawana Dakra Ajirapa. Rafiq Salam reports.
The National Democratic Congress (NDC) won all 11 parliamentary seats in the Upper West region, with the exception of the Graba constituency, who just ceded to an independent parliamentary candidate, Paul Derugoba, who fell out with the party after losing the constituency primaries. Dr. Francis Bawana Dakura, came to Parliament in 2009 through a by-election following the demise of Edward Kojo Salia. He failed to hold on to the seat after 43 months at the legislature. He has again put himself up and leading the charge for the NDC in the Graba constituency. He told supporters of the party that he was going to win the 2016 polls based on the party's previous record of successive developmental projects dotted across the constituency.
It's very paramount. We are putting this party as a vehicle for development. That is why the unity of the constituency today is very, very important. And we have rallied to the cry and the call for unity and to put the party's interest above any other thing.
Deputy National Organizer of the NDC, Joshua Hamidu Akamba, called on supporters of the party to close their ranks and work towards a massive victory for the party in the November polls.
The party is going to look at those who are working very, very hard. And after that, you'll be rewarded. Because by this thing coming to you and to tell you that you are the people to go and bring the power, there's a meaning to it. Never again are you going to complain that no, we didn't know this man, he became the DC. It is not going to happen again. Never again will somebody be appointed as a minister. Then you say that no, we don't know him. How did he become a minister? It is not going to happen again. The party will choose who should lead them. Because today you are the ones that was giving you the right to go around and make sure that the exhibition go in right.
Dr. Francis Bawana later donated 10 motorbikes valued at 30,828 Ghana cedis to all the 10 zones in the constituency to support them in their campaign. Reporting for Joy News, Rafik Salam, Graba.
Let's return to our first story, where the Northern Regional Chairman of the New Patriotic Party, Bugri Nabo, is accusing the Northern Regional Minister and NDC's candidate for Walewale, Abdallah Abubakar, of deploying weapons to NDC supporters in the region to cause mayhem as the general elections draw near. Joining me now on phone with some more on this is regional correspondent Hashmin Mohammed. So Hashmin, tell us more about this accusation being leveled by the NPP.
Well, the Northern Regional Chairman, Bugri Naba, made this accusation when addressing a press conference a while ago here in Tamale. According to him, he made references to an incident that happened in Wale, where he alleges that some supporters of the MPP were butchered, and the Northern Regional Minister ordered the police not to react. Now, he is also saying that they as a party have fake information that the Regional Minister is deploying weapons to supporters of the NDC in Wale constituency, where the Northern Regional Minister happens to be the candidate for the NDC in that particular constituency. And he also moved further to state that these weapons are also being distributed to other youth groups within the region, and he wants the president and the security to act and call the Regional Minister to order.
Pretty serious accusations there, but what has been the charge, particularly on the security agencies? I'm speaking of the police.
Well, I posed a question to him whether the NPP as a party, they have laid a complaint to the police. They said they are yet to do that, but that is the information that they have. And by this press conference, they want the police to act.
Has there been any reaction, particularly from the regional minister, following these accusations by the NPP?
Well, we've tried to contact the regional minister. We've not been able to reach him yet. But a while ago, I spoke to the regional secretary of the NDC, and then Abdul Rauf Khalid, and he has rubbished those allegations, saying that the NDC do not need violence to win elections.
Many thanks for that update, Hashmin Mohammed. And Hashmin Mohammed is our correspondent in the Northern region. He brought us more on that press conference held there by the opposition New Patriotic Party, and they are accusing the National Democratic Congress, particularly their candidate for Wale over there, who also happens to be the regional minister. They're accusing him of deploying weapons to the town ahead of the November polls. We'll be bringing you some more analysis on this at 3 p.m. when we join you later with the polls. Now, Member of Parliament for Klote Kole, Niyama Ashite, has given an indication he may contest for the seat in the upcoming general elections as an independent candidate. Now, this follows a majority decision by the Supreme Court in favor of the NDC's parliamentary candidate for Klote Kole here in Accra, Dr. Zaneto Rawlings, whose candidature was being challenged. By a 4-1 decision, the judges ruled Dr. Rawlings did nothing wrong in contesting for the Klote Kole parliamentary seat, even though she was not a registered voter at the time. They averred it is only when the Electoral Commission accepts the candidature of a person before his or her status as a registered voter can be scrutinized. But following that, the Member of Parliament for the area is hinting he may still contest for the seat, but this time as an independent candidate. But what does this mean for the many contenders for the Klote Kole seat? Political scientist Dr. Ali Duseidu has more.
I think a lot of variables will have to come in if you are doing an analysis of this nature. I know it's a bit interesting and very dicey, but if you look at the case of both the NPP and the NDC, they have a candidate who was not happy about maybe the way the primaries were conducted, or a candidate that's not happy about a decision that's coming from a competent court of jurisdiction, decided to contest the incumbent or the winning candidate. So if you look at it critically, it depends on a lot of things. One, it depends on the quality of the one challenging the incumbent. If you look at the NPP, for example, what is the quality and strength of the person who is contesting as independent candidate and who is coming from the NPP? Does that have the ability of quality to be able to unseat or to cause so much hurt to Philip Addison? If you look at the case of the NPP, I think that guy has been a grassroots person. He has worked so well with the party, and he is likely to get some of the votes that will go to Philip Addison. If you look at the NDC's one, it's even more dicey, because if the incumbent is going to go independent, the incumbent has already been in touch with the people. He has been a party person. He has represented the constituency at the House of Legislature. But you also look at the family background of Dr. Rawlings, Zaneto Rawlings, and all those things. The caliber. She's also a very widely known person. That could also play a very dicey trick there. So at the two bigger political party level, there's definitely going to be a split of voting between their candidates. But will the PPP candidate, who's also very known, has been the former running mate of Papa Christian Joe and all those things. She's very articulate, she's very voice-forward, she's well known within the party circles and within even the constituency. Will she be able to pull a surprise? That also depends on the quality of challenge that she's going to put forward. What might happen is that if the constituency has been voting based largely on the party, but they have always voted for the NDC, that's what is happening. Then what may happen is that the NDC candidate is likely going to win with maybe a very slim margin of victory compared to previous years that the party has won in that particular election. But if both the NDC is able to put a formidable challenge, then it might be different. But I still believe that the PPP candidate stand a chance if she's able to put a very quality challenge, and then the vote within the NDC and the NPP split to a level that none of them can actually emerge as a winner. Then she will be able to come forward and then take the seat.
Does that remain a high possibility at this point in time?
I think it might be very difficult. She can pull out a surprise by like increasing maybe the percentage of vote that the PPP will have in that particular constituency. But I'm still thinking that whatever the case might be, it's definitely going to be between the NDC and the NPP, and technically the NDC. But the NDC candidate may likely win with a very slim margin of lead.
You're still watching News Today here on your Joy News channel on Multi TV, also available on your DSTV channel 421. Let's now do some other stories. And Education Minister Professor Jane Nano Opoku-Agyeman is canvassing support in Parliament for the passage of the Technical Universities Bill. According to Professor Opoku-Agyeman, the passage will help enhance the conversion of polytechnics in the country into technical universities with special emphasis on technical, engineering and vocational courses. Let's get more now from parliamentary correspondent Elton Bobe, who joins us on phone. So Elton, tell us more about this approach by the Education Minister in Parliament today. Okay, so we seem to have lost Elton Bobe on the line there. Once we have him, we'll bring back that story to you. But we're taking a break here on News Today on your Joy News channel on Multi TV. We'll return shortly with some more stories. Don't go away. Many thanks for staying with us here on News Today. To some more stories now, and the National Service Secretariat will in the coming days announce an increment in allowances paid to service personnel across the country. This follows agitations by personnel for an increase in the 350 cedi figure due to what they describe as the high cost of living in the country. But speaking on News Desk a short while ago, Public Relations Officer for the National Service Secretariat, Ambrose Ntia, says the Secretariat is currently awaiting approval of a proposal to increase the allowance figures before a final announcement is made.
Agitations have been there for the past 1 year or so. And I must say that we had even started working on that before they formally came in with their, shall I say, concerns being expressed by
a petition.
A petition, so to speak, yes. So, yes, we do acknowledge the fact that things have changed, economic situations have changed, and all that. The issue that I may have to put on record is that we've heard that they're saying that every allowance are increased. Allowances are not increased. No, I'm not saying that it's them.
Haven't said that.
Yeah, but it's in some quarter. That's why I want to put that one on record. Now, we have also acknowledged the fact that they have made some legitimate claims, and we are working at it. I must say that the issue has received serious attention. Management has received it. This petition has not come to us formally, but I'm saying that even before that, we had received some of the complaints, and we had discussed at management level. We had submitted to the board for attention. Last month, we met the regional directors of the regional executives of NASPA. For those who are just about to exit. And I'm sure the gentleman knows that there is an association called NASPA. Sure. So the regional president, regional executives, all of them met in Accra somewhere last month, and they sent a resolution to board through management. And we had a discussion at the board level, and the board accepted it and forwarded same to the ministry. So the issue has even gone beyond the secretariat. It's gone beyond management and the board. It's at the level of the ministerial discussion.
Well, Ambrose Ntia adds that the National Service Secretariat will be deploying more personnel to its traffic control program following its success in the first year of the module's operation.
See a number of complaints from the public, from the road users, drivers and all that. And we've also received complaints from the service personnel themselves. But on a larger scale,
what kind of complaints?
For instance, because they are not policemen, they stop the drivers, they refuse to stop.
So there's a possibility they may even be creating more accidents.
But it has never happened. But
there remains a possibility.
Exactly, I agree with you perfectly. So that is why we have insured everybody. We have given them insurance. Everybody has been insured. So, but we are not hoping anything like that should happen. Should it happen, you are already insured, and we pray that it doesn't. For now, we have not encountered any serious.
Are you considering scrapping it, seeing that it's not really serving the purpose for which
it is serving the purpose.
Is it?
Yes, sure. There have been a number of situations where policemen have been absent on the road and service personnel are there. But for them, there would have been more chaotic situations being encountered, especially at the various intersections. Now, we are going to maintain it, most probably even increase it to other areas.
So you're going to have more people direct traffic, more service personnel direct traffic.
We'll send some of them to other urban areas, maybe. We did Kumasi and Accra, so it's possible we'll go to other areas, other areas. But I must say that the other advantage is that a large majority of them have applied into the police force or police service. I do not work within the police service, but it's possible that they may have an advantage over those who have not been trained in terms of their recruitment processes. Okay. So we believe that it's going to help.
All right. Now, hawking along highways has become a major economic activity and a source of living, especially for women across the country. However, there are concerns about safety as sellers run after and sometimes cross-approaching vehicles. Mahmoud Mohamed Nuruddin visited Offenso in the Ashanti region and reports disaster is looming as hawkers throw caution to the wind in their search for money.
This is a common scene along the Offenso-Kumasi highway.
Yeah.
Others risk their lives by standing in the middle of the road due to speeding vehicles. Most of them sell grocery.
In fact, it's very, very serious in terms of the accident over here. It's like, since we are all struggling to get money, many people have been having accidents here. It's so terrible. But I can't tell you the specific number of people who have died here. But people, sometimes some go into bad injuries, and it's very serious.
A lot of people have died because of this. There's been a recent case where someone was hit by a car and had to be rushed to the hospital.
These women continue with their business on the road, oblivious of the dangers they are exposing themselves to. A number of their colleagues lost their lives here after they were knocked down by vehicles.
There have been many deaths. In some instances, the cars ran over us. Some people have died as a result. And so we plead with the president to help us by creating good jobs so we can stop hawking. We are only here because we have nowhere else to go.
This bitumen tanker just overturned a meter away from the toll booth. It could have exploded in flames if it had come into contact with fire. Local authorities, police, and perhaps the Ghana Highway Authority must act swiftly before something unpleasant happens.
Now, a 7-year-old girl accused of witchcraft, confined and tortured by her father, has been rescued at Achiase Wansamre near Esofwa in the Ashanti region. Her abusive father, Kwabna Eboa, is in police grips following a report by the Suntreso hospital officials after the culprit's fiancé had sneaked the child out there for medical attention. Love FM's Rasto Saridonko has more.
Little sister's body portrays visible marks of pain inflicted on her by her 34-year-old father for over a month of confinement and physical abuse. Looking frail and perhaps too small for her age, doctors tell Love News X-ray results show multiple fractures on her left leg and arm, believed to be the result of beating. In fact, the limping little girl's whole body, her back, hands, and face have a cluster of cane marks and a swollen leg she limps on. She told Love News of the pain she suffered at the hands of her father.
He burnt my fingers with fire. He stepped on my leg and it broke. He beat me with a stick. He wouldn't give me food and will not take me to school.
Yaboa's fiancé told Love News she had to save the girl because her ordeal was becoming unbearable.
He branded
the child a witch. He says he sees 4 spiritual objects on the girl's body when she sleeps. During those times, he will persistently hit the stomach until she faints. He touched her fingers for stealing meat from the soup. He threatened to burn her alive by the end of this month.
Pediatrician at the Suntraso Government Hospital, Dr. Ashura Bakari, says the girl's fractures require surgery to correct.
The child had multiple bodily wounds. Some of them have healed. Some of them are, you can say they are new wounds, especially on the hand. She had swelling of the fingers and septic wounds, like wounds which are infected around the knuckle. I might say it's deteriorating, yeah. There was smell, most probably from the wound. She also has scars, looks like burn scars at the back and on the arm. And when we did x-ray, it shows multiple fractures. So the leg has two bones, both bones are fractured. And it's a complete fracture, but we have contact orthopedic surgeon at the Konfanochi Teaching Hospital.
The Social Welfare Department is in the process of securing a new home for the traumatized child. Godfred Adogo is a social development officer on the case.
We are looking at how to help the child. The child is psychologically traumatized. The child needs to be removed from the home where the abuse took place.
Reporting for Joy News, Erastus Asaredonko, Love FM, Kumasi.
That's a rather sad story there. But you're still watching News Today here on your Joy News channel on Multi TV. We're taking another break. When we come back, we'll bring you updates in business and sports. Stay with us.